Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. It's your boy coming to you live from Oregon. You know, it's in the middle of June. It's about 90 to 100 degrees. We're on StreamYard. Hop in the room and join your boy. We are going to have a good show today. Your boy was already watching NFL Network earlier today. We have the 1986 Minnesota Vikings, all right, versus the Washington Redskins. Live play-by-play and reactions. And I got to do the first half, but your boy is always working hard and he's always grinding. So look at here. I'm here. I'm ready to grind, and I hope everyone's having a fantastic Tuesday. And we are going to be going over a PFF topic that I wanted to go over. Dylan in the building, what to do. Who are the best motherfucking NFL players under the age of 25 years of age? Who is it? Who are they? We want to discuss going over who are the best NFL players under 25, because there's a lot of talent in the league. But I want to kind of go over, because I saw this list on PFF. Worked a long day today, 8, 9, hour day. It was tough. Then I went into the room, decided to end up watching NFL Network, November 2nd, 1986, the Vikings versus the Redskins. Cam Jordan, obviously showcasing his dad, Steve Jordan. And then your boy's here. I'm always coming up with new ideas. It's the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the fucking channel. Donate to your boy, either on Cash App or on here through Super Chat. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram at NW Sports Fanatics. Dylan's in the building. He said, yo, what to do? Birdman in the building. 951. What up, man? I'm grinding, man. I'm getting used to using the StreamYard. I haven't got a chance to get to a point where I'm going to use the premier features or the premium features. Obviously, once we get into the NFL season, depending on more and more of the thumbnails and the editing, I'll probably invest more money into the StreamYard. West Coast Birds in the building. What to do, man? Hey, we got Eagles fans all across the country, and we have a pretty good Eagles fan base that is in the building. But what I do like is the options that I have with showcasing some of the chat in the building. I like to be able to have the side scrolling down below. And, I always come up with original content, and I always come up with ideas, because I'm always watching Pat McAfee show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon, every Monday through Friday. I always watch Good Morning Football when it's on live, Monday through Friday. 6 hours in my ear while I'm at work grinding. And I already worked an 8 to 9 hour day. I already did an hour live stream for that Vikings Washington Redskins on NFL Network 1986 game, player's choice for Cam Jordan for his dad, Steve Jordan. And I'm ready, man. I'm always ready to go in and discuss the topics. And I want to be able to do, some guests, through StreamYard. Maybe Birdman 951, Dylan, and a few others that might be able to hop in this room with me, and we can kind of vibe with the fans. And also, I'm going to have some new co-hosts, joining your boy this season. I got my boy Swaggy P. I got my boy Joe Dog. Got my boy Zach. So it's definitely going to be very, very fun this season. He says, I can't wait to collaborate, man. It's going to be fun. Absolutely. So Eagles fans, Saints fans are common around here. Absolutely. Lots of Saints fans, lots of Eagles fans. I got a lot of Eagles fans that fucked with me since 2017. I've been doing this for 9 years, 5 years on YouTube. This will be coming up into year 5. And then, like I said, I predicted the Eagles were going to beat Tom Brady in 2017. I said that Slick Nick Foles was going to get it done, right? And they were going to win big by 9 or 10. They did. Eagles fans have been riding with me. They fuck with me heavy. And like I said, I haven't got a Super Bowl winner wrong in like 20 years. So people come to me for betting. People come to me for advice. People come for NFL knowledge. And people just come to fuck with me because we have the best sports fanatic family on YouTube and on planet Earth. And that's you guys. I appreciate you guys very, very much. Let's see here. Brute Saint, another person in the building, said Eagles fans and Saints fans are coming around here. We got Zach in the building. He said, I'm stoked for this one. Let's go. Birdman, my boy. Bang, $5. Love the energy. Keep grinding. We see you. Hey, and like I said, I'm over 1,100 videos in since 2017 alone. All right. 3.3, 3.4 million views. And I'm not satisfied. I'm trying to go to 5 million to 10 million. I'm trying to go from 1,000, videos in the library. I'm at over 1,100 right now, trying to get over 2,000. And I'm trying to get from 20,000 subscribers. I'm just on that hump. All right. And I'm trying to go to 20 to 25 to 30, 35 to 40, 45 to 50, and eventually get to 100K so I can get that fucking silver button and get some recognition from YouTube. But it all depends on the fans. It depends on YouTube if they're going to promote. But I have a great show lined up for you today, and any other topics that you want me to highlight down below that we can go over, we can do that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Birdman951, $4.99. Bang. Anyone that, shows love by smashing the like button, sharing this on their, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever the fuck it is. Thank you. But then to go the extra mile, to subscribe to the channel, donate to your boy, I'll never forget it. And anyone that ends up donating to me, or that we have these kind of chats on here, I don't forget my fans. I appreciate you guys very, very much. Birdman951 in the building. Zach Amig, he said Steelers in the building. Let's go, baby. Let's go. He said, is it 25 and under or strictly under 25? Well, let's go over this article that just came out ranking the top 25 players under 25. So I think it's 24 and under, I would assume, where they're going to go, but that's under 25 entering the 2021 NFL season. So some of the names are very interesting, and we're going to go over our own rankings. So it'll be interesting to see if they have people. So let's take a look. So it's going to be the best 25 players who will be under the age of 25 by opening kickoff day. Cowboys, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tampa Bay, Brady, Dak Prescott, which is set up for September 9th, 2021. And we'll get into Tom Brady saying that you want him over motherfucking me. And if you've been watching that, they got an HBO special coming up. All right. And then was that Jimmy G? Was that the San Francisco 49ers? Was that Phillip Rivers and the Colts? Was that Drew Brees and the Saints? That they wanted to choose someone over Tom Brady? Because late in the process, they said that the Bears were kind of in the running. The Chargers were in the running. All right. And obviously the Buccaneers. And then San Francisco might have wanted to stick with Jimmy G. That's another, thing that we're going to go over under the ticker. And we can go about that, who we think it was about. I kind of feel it might have been more Jimmy G related, that the Niners wanted to back out and stick there. Colts were already kind of, looking at Phillip Rivers because that story happened. If, Drew Brees would have retired a couple years ago, Brady probably would have went there. It sounded like that might have been one of his number 1, number 2 choices, Saints, Buccaneers. All right. Could you imagine if Tom Brady would have went to the Saints and Drew Brees would have retired before last year? We might be talking about the Saints being Super Bowl champions, and that's big facts. But got a lot of things I want to discuss. Shout out to everyone that's in the room. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Dylan in the building. Birdman951 in the building. Dylan, Steelers. Birdman951, Eagles. Fly, West Coast Birds in the building. Brute Saint in the building. Saints. Nyland Saints. Brute Saint, Birdman951. I know both of y'all want to fuck with me and do the live stream on here through StreamYard. So we'll try to make that happen at some point. Zach in the building, my guy. Sarah Small, Supper Ryan, go Colts. Let's go, baby. What to do, Sarah? Talking about a little bit of Colts, a little bit of everything. But let's go over some of these names that PFF put out. And I want to kind of go over the rankings because some of them are a little off, but we'll go over what I think in the top 25. But before I get into that, I like to fuck with everyone and go through everyone's questions. Birdman951 says, where do you think Aaron Rodgers goes? Well, really, there's only going to be 2 spots for him. Really, it's either A, he goes back to Green Bay, right? Well, actually, there's more than, 2 scenarios. B, the one that we think that he's going to go to the Denver Broncos or the Raiders or possibly Miami, based off the draft capital and whatnot. I can't really see the Miami scenario because Tua, it seems like they're invested at least for another year. And then if they need to move on from him, they possibly will. Raiders. I know you got Carr, you got Gruden. They have the capital. And that one seems a little bit more likely, but the most likely scenario, it would be Denver. But they got Drew Lock, they got Teddy Bridgewater. You'd have to give up Bradley Chubb. So I kind of see him on Denver, but we don't really know. We don't know where it's going to go. But what I do know is that if he leaves Green Bay, you go from a playoff team, a top 3 team in the NFC, Buccaneers, Rams, Packers. They're not even in the top 3, the top 4, top 5. They're at the bottom of the NFC. I don't believe in Jordan Love at all. Yeah, you got Aaron Jones. Who? Aaron Jones. You got Devontae Adams. You got some pieces. But if you don't have Mr. Discount double check himself, Aaron Rodgers, and he goes to Denver, that's huge. Green Bay scales back. The Bears and Vikings are fighting it out for the NFC North. And then Denver becomes an instant contender if they go there. Now, if he goes to the Raiders, their defense isn't good enough to get to an AFC championship game or to win a Super Bowl, in my opinion. If he goes to Miami or Denver, he will be in the running. But with that being said, you still got the Chiefs who are going to be better. You're going to have the Browns that will be better. You'll probably have the Bills that will be better. And then if Rodgers goes there and Chubb is out with the package, with all the draft picks and everything else, they'll probably be the fourth best team competing with the Browns and the Bills for that second, third, fourth place spot with Rodgers, because we know how great Aaron is. But I still think the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC, and in the NFC, you got the Buccaneers, right? You got the Rams with Stafford coming in, right? You got the Packers with Aaron Rodgers, but you got teams that are going to surprise people like the San Francisco 49ers. They could win the NFC West this season. I'm telling you, they got an easy schedule. Trey Lance will ball out. So I think that will be someone there. I think the Cardinals can make the playoffs as well. The real wild card is Russell Wilson and Seattle. Do they still make the playoffs, or do they kind of slip back a little bit like the Saints and possibly go 9-8, 8-9? We'll have to wait and see. But that's kind of what I'm feeling. Either he goes back to the Packers, says, fuck you, Kuntz, fuck you, LaFleur. I don't want to be here, but we'll try to make it work for one more year, and I'm out of here, right? Or they just say, fuck it, because I don't think they're going to want to give up Rodgers, because they're not going to get the proper compensation unless he sits out. So realistically, trading him to Denver would be great, or the Raiders or Miami. But there's really two scenarios. A, he plays for Green Bay, or B, he sits out, or C, he's the host of Jeopardy. Because I know he loves Alex Trebek. Rest in peace, Alex. All right. And I know he would love to be the full-time host of Jeopardy. I don't know if any of you guys caught it, but he was the best celebrity guest host. And the ratings were up when they had Aaron Rodgers. And I know he would quit football to do that, or he would love to do both. But at some point, if Aaron Rodgers gets the keys to the Jeopardy, don't be surprised if he ends up being the full-time host. But I think either he plays or he sits out. Deshaun Watson, same thing. Houston Texans are a fucking dumpster fire. I don't know if he plays or not. Lots of allegations. You know what I mean? But I don't know if any new team would want him. But of course, someone would trade for him because he's a top 4 quarterback in this league. It goes Patrick Mahomes, in most people's eyes, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, and it's debatable who's at 5. Justin Herbert, maybe. Kyler Murray, right? Josh Allen. There's a lot of guys that are going to be battling it out. But I want to go over this list, and I like to acknowledge everyone. Sarah Small in the building. What's up, Ryan? Go Colts. Go Colts, baby. Woo! Let's go. Let's see. Birdman says 951. I did hear him and Elway have exchanged words. Of course. Well, they met up on a golf course as well. Maybe some illegal tampering, but no one really knows. I mean, Pat McAfee and all these shows that I listen to, nobody really knows. Aaron is really private. And if the only way you're really going to know anything is if you watched Pat McAfee show, Aaron Rodgers had a guest spot for about an hour, on certain days, like on Tuesdays, that you could actually listen to Aaron Rodgers tell his side of the story. He's a very private guy. And when I learned about him, he's not a dick. He's actually one of the smartest, most intelligent quarterbacks on the face of the fucking planet Earth. He's a hybrid. He's a unicorn. Him, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson are special. But a lot of people like to put words in his mouth, right? That is not right. And I think that he'll make the decision that's right for him, but I don't think he wants to play in Green Bay anymore. And it's not necessarily because of Devontae Adams or Aaron Jones. Who Aaron Jones? It's not about the players. It's about LaFleur, Kuntz, right? It's about the GM. It's about the ownership. And it's about not giving him the keys. All right. In the NFC Championship game, when he's the NFL MVP and they wanted to go for it on 4th down, they went for the field goal. Tampa got the ball and we fucking won. Okay. If Rodgers would have got a shot and got a touchdown, and they would have won the NFC Championship game and went to the Super Bowl, there's no guarantee that they would have won the Super Bowl, all right, against Kansas City. But just a chance to get there at this stage of Aaron Rodgers' career. Drew Brees only got 1. Russell Wilson only 1. They're probably going to end their careers, Rodgers and Wilson, with only 1, okay? And not getting the opportunity to go for it, to make that, happen. And if he would have failed and it would have been incomplete or interception, Tampa Bay, he could live with that, but to not even get the chance to put in his input and for LaFleur to say, fuck you, field goal, you lost. And I mean, how often are you going to be an NFL MVP? How often are you going to be a top 3 quarterback in this league? That's why he doesn't want to be on Green Bay. He doesn't have any power. He doesn't have any say. They didn't tell him about Jordan Love. Shit. They told fucking Tom Brady about Kyle Trask coming in. They told fucking Andy Dalton Justin Fields was coming in. How does Aaron Rodgers not get any fucking respect? You know why? Because they don't have a goddamn owner. They're owned by the people. So the GM, Kuntz, is the most powerful man in sports that's not named Roger Goodell. That's the fucking problem. They have a bunch of ownership people, an ownership committee that say Kuta Kutz goes in there, as the GM, he says, hey, we're going to do this. Okay. And they all bow down to him. You got to have an owner. You don't need a Jerry Jones to be a micromanager, but with him being the guy, he's got Roger Goodell power in Green Bay. All right. He's making all the questions, all the answers. And obviously with LaFleur, how good of a coach is he? When you got Aaron Rodgers and you're going 13-3 2 years, it looks great. But with Jordan Love, how good is he really going to be? That's what I want to be able to see. But I would like to see Rodgers in Denver. That would be the most natural fit. And I think if he goes to Denver, they definitely could be a Super Bowl contender. And that's big facts. Sarah Small, bang, $5. Bucks are the best in the NFC, Tampa Bay. I heard Tate wants to sign with the Colts. Love Nelson, the maniac. Go Colts. I can't wait to watch Indianapolis Colts play football. I do have questions about Carson Wentz, but guess what? Jonathan Taylor, one of my 5 favorite running backs in this league. I love him, love him, love him. And I won't lie. In the NFL draft the last 2 years, Josh Jacobs and Jonathan Taylor, I was praying. I was like, please, God, pick Tampa Bay. Please pick a running back, a 3-down back. Didn't get him, right? No Josh Jacobs. He went to the Raiders. And then Jonathan Taylor, I'm like, please, please, please. Didn't get him either. All right, but you got him. And like I said, it's all about Darius Leonard, Kwity Paye. All right, DeForest Buckner, you're starting to get the pieces in line. And you might have one of the best defenses, if not one of the best, if not the best, going into 2021. I absolutely cannot wait to watch Colts games. And I'm rooting for Carson Wentz and Frank Reich to get it together. Brute Saint, I'm still more sold on the Browns competing against the Chiefs better than the Bills just because of the rushing attack. Just like I've said in every single stream, if you don't got a 3-down back, I don't care if Stephon Diggs gets 130 catches this season. At some point, they're going to need to pound the rock. They don't have Thurman Thomas back there. I'm not sold on the Bills being able to get past the Browns or even the Chiefs. I mean, they could if Josh Allen takes his game to the next level, but that's a lot of pressure on a Josh Allen or a Lamar Jackson. We need a 3-down back in this NFL. It's not a running league anymore. It's a passing league. That's big facts, okay? That is big facts. But as we're moving forward, it's a passing league. You got to have corners. You got to have safeties. You got to be able to play man, zone, nickel, dime, prevent. You got to be able to mix it up, just like in Madden. All right. And if you're not able to contain, you can have a good front 7, but if you can't contain the back end, you're fucked in this league. It's proven game in and game out. But I totally agree, Brute Saint, you got to be able to have a running game. And even though the Chiefs, they might not have a Nick Chubb or a Kareem Hunt, right? They got, they used to have Damian Williams. Now you got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You had Darrell Williams. You have a lot of these guys. No more Le'Veon Bell. He's being a bitch and says Andy Reid's a bitch. And we know that's not true. All right. But the bottom line is you got Bieniemy, and Bieniemy can make anybody good. And that's big facts. He's proven it. All right. Birdman 951, how many games will it take Dak Prescott to be comfortable in his new offense? He is already comfortable. All right. It's all about him being healthy. I mean, he's got CeeDee Lamb, one of the best up-and-coming wide receivers in the league. I like him. I like A.J. Brown. All right. And I like who? Justin Jefferson. And then put Jamar Chase in that league of wide receivers that I love. All right, but they're going to lose week 1 and the kickoff to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the champs. All right, the offense should be good. Offensive line isn't where it was 3, 4, 5 years ago. All right, no more Jason Witten as well. So we're going to have to see Dalton Schultz. Can he step up? Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, Zeke. Are you existent? Are you non-existent? What are we getting? Are we getting a top 5 running back? Or are we getting a guy that fumbles all the time? I don't know. All right, but the defense, Micah Parsons from Penn State, stud. All right. But who else? DeMarcus Lawrence, Van Der Esch gets hurt all the time. I just don't know what we're going to get out of the Cowboys. But what I do know, offense is great, right? But the defense is booty. Washington football team. Defense is amazing. Offense above average with Ryan Fitzmagic, Scary Terry McLaurin. They got Curtis Samuel from the Panthers, and they got Antonio Gibson. So they got some weapons there at the tight end, wide receiver, running back position. Okay. All right, so we know we got pretty good offense, amazing defense for Washington. Cowboys, amazing offense, horrible defense. So if they can go from horrible defense to bad to average, they can still make the playoffs. Facts. Giants, the most well-rounded team in the NFC East. Good offense, good defense, lots of upgrades on both sides. Picked up Kadarius Toney from Florida. I love Joe Judge, but who's the question mark? Danny Dimes. He might be Danny Nichols, Danny Pennies, Danny unemployed after this season. Okay, so we don't know what we're getting there. But that might be a bubble team, just like the Niners making the playoffs this season. And then your Eagles, your Birds, They might be the third or fourth team right now based off based off media coverage, where people are thinking they're going to get third or fourth. But if you guys end up taking a step back and not winning a lot of games this season, and Carson Wentz plays 70% of the snaps, you get 3 first-rounders, maybe it's good to have kind of an off season and finish third or fourth, even though, Eagles fans and football fans don't want to hear that. But Jalen Hurts is the man. I think that's a good choice. Devontae Smith is a stud. Him and Jamar Chase are going to be battling it out. You got the Marvin Harrison of the draft with who? Devontae Smith, the Heisman winner. Okay? I love him. But big play Slay getting older. Fletcher Cox getting older. Can Brandon Brooks stay healthy? I don't know. Kelsey is a stud, but can he stay healthy? All right. Lane Johnson, can he stay healthy? Andre Dillard, can he stay healthy? There's a lot of question marks. I love Miles Sanders. No more Alshon Jeffrey. No more. So bad it hurt Zach Ertz, but you got Dallas Goedert, who could be a top 5 tight end. Your boy does his research. Your boy knows. But you might be the third or fourth best team in the NFC East, aka NFC least. I think at this point, people are thinking the Eagles might be the worst team in the NFC East. Do I think that? Not necessarily. You know what I mean? But if you have 3 first-rounders, imagine if you get Kayvon Thibodeau. Imagine if you can get guys that can surround the talent of what you have. So even if you end up going, let's say, 6-11, I know that's what you don't want to hear. I think you could probably get more wins than that. Or you went 8-9, a little bit of a disappointing season. Getting those draft picks and you take 1 step backwards to go 10 steps forward, where you can dominate the division and start running shit in the NFC East, might be a good thing. Because think about it. If you could have 1 bad year, but then have 5 awesome years after, or have an average year and then 3 mediocre years after, what would you want? You know what I mean? You got to look long-term, not short-term. But we're going to have to wait and see. But I'm always rooting for the Eagles, just like I root for all the teams in the NFL. I want them to have success. That's big facts. And I call it right down the middle. I have no agenda. You know what I mean? I call it how I see it, based on personnel, based off the draft, based off free agents and all the reading and team websites and everything that I look at. Are you going to smack the Cowboys, or will it be close? I think that, it'll be close in the first half. But in the second half, we will pull away, and I imagine we will win by more than 10 points, probably 13 or more if I had to put money on it, but I would say more than 10 points, so that would be kind of a smacking. But in the first half, with Dak and CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, and just, that jitters, that first game jitters, I would be surprised if we just blew them out, like if it ended up being like a Saints Bucks from last year, 38-3. I don't think it's going to be like that. And we don't want that as fans of the NFL. We want it to be a close game, at least at one point or another. But I wouldn't mind, if we drop that game, I would be shocked, because I think Tampa Bay is the team that everyone's looking at to repeat or get to the Super Bowl or get at least to the NFC Championship game, make a deep playoff run. We're returning all 22 starters. All right, we're returning the whole coaching staff. We're even returning the kicker. I mean, we're returning everybody. So Kansas City and Tampa Bay are at the cream of the crop at the top, but I'm hoping that the game ends up being decently close, but I imagine we'll pull away in the third and fourth quarter and we'll win by more than 10. You got Fournette, you got Rojo, you got Godwin, you got Evans, you got AB, you got OJ Howard, you got Gronk, you got Cameron Brate, you got one of the top 10 offensive lines, with Tristan Wirfs and Ryan Jensen, studs. All right. And then you got the back end, Carlton Davis, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Jamel Dean, Antoine Winfield Jr. You got Mike Edwards. You got Levante David. You got Devin White, the 2 best linebackers in football on the same team. On top of that, JPP, Shaq Barrett, Vita Vea, Ndamukong Kongsu. You tell me who's got a better front four. Maybe only the Washington football team with Chase Young and company, and that's it. All right. But I'll take the guys that I have. I love them. Next up, Zach Amig, Steelers, Najee Harris, about to go fucking crazy. You best believe $5 foot long. Thank you, my guy. Steelers in the building. And I'll be honest, a lot of people won't be honest, with how I look at the league and how I break down the league. But it's very possible. It's very possible that the Steelers finish in 3rd or 4th place this year. I know you don't want to hear it. You've been at the top for so long, but Big Ben is getting older. The offensive line wasn't really addressed. They should have probably went for more offensive linemen in free agency in the draft. They tried to break it down and tried to bring in the proper people, but I'm worried about that offensive line. It's not very good based on what I've seen, based on what I've read. But Najee Harris is great, and he could get Rookie of the Year. Him or Trevor Lawrence more than likely will be the front runners for Offensive Rookie of the Year. All right. And on defense, Micah Parsons should be the front runner on Dallas Cowboys linebacker on the defense. Okay. At least to start off. But I know Najee will go crazy. But we got to think the Browns should be the best team in the AFC North. The Ravens are going to the playoffs, right? So to get 3 teams out of there in the North, I just don't see it, right? And then the Bengals should be getting better. They should have went Penei Sewell, but they went Jamar Chase because he went with Joe Burrow at LSU, and they have that connection. Offensive line for the Bengals, trash. Coach, trash. Running game, not where it needs to be. Even, we know Mixon has some game from time to time. No more Giovanni Bernard because he's on my Bucks. All right, no more AJ Green. All right, you got T. Higgins. You got Jamar Chase. You got some weapons there, but the defense is trash. So you would think the Steelers should be able to get past the Bengals, but if they have problems with Juju and Big Ben, no more Bud Dupree, Minka Fitzpatrick's great, TJ Watt's great, but if they have any kind of injuries, there's a chance that the Steelers slide like they did at the end of the season. They might finish 4th in the AFC North. I know you don't want to hear that, but I just want to brace you for, the unexpected, where it's possible that you finish 3rd or 4th in the division. 4th would be probably the utmost shocking, but check it out. If you have a bad season and you finish 4th, what does that mean? Replacement for Big Ben. You could end up getting a Spencer Rattler from Oklahoma, a Howell from UNC, a Clovis from USC. There's going to be quarterbacks out there, and you can get Big Ben's replacement. And getting Big Ben's replacement, it's not Dwayne fucking Haskins. I'll tell you that. So you just got to look for the future. Don't look short term. Look long term. But I know Najee Harris is going to go crazy. I can't wait to watch him play. He will be one of the top 12 running backs in the league, and he might be one of the top 10 because it seems like every year you're going to have one. Josh Jacobs, 1 year. Jonathan Taylor from the Colts last year. The new one, Najee Harris. I'm interested to see ETN too because it sounds like they're going to line them up at wide receivers as well. Let's see here. I said wouldn't doubt it. And then let's see, Amy, how dare you disrespect Claypool like that? Hey, Claypool was great, right? But when you ended up going undefeated, right? Claypool was great. Juju, Deontay Johnson, everything was working. But then once Bud Dupree went down, everyone disappeared. So it will be interesting to see if Claypool can be as dominant as he was with all those touchdowns. But the main thing is Juju. Can Juju be off the TikTok? Can they actually think about winning games rather than fucking social media? That's the question. But I'm rooting for you guys. But if you do have a bad season like the Eagles and the Steelers, if you guys have bad seasons, it could be a good thing. Take 1 step backwards, 10 steps forward, end up getting your future franchise quarterback or maybe getting a Kayvon Thibodeau for the Eagles, figuring out what you want to do. And if Jalen Hurts doesn't make the playoffs, right, and they decide to move on, you got 3 first-rounders if Wentz plays 70% of the snaps. But I would stick with Jalen Hurts. I think that could be a guy that you can move forward with. But who knows what's going to happen with that organization. That's facts. Calvin Griffin in the building. Kyle Pitts, number 1. I'm excited to see what happens. And like I said, I'm not biased. I don't have any hate, even towards Saints fans. I just call it how I see it. You know what I mean? Sometimes teams do good. Sometimes teams, have injuries. Sometimes they draft, not the right way. You feel me? Zach's in the building. Calvin Griffin is in the building. Is that a Ryan? Damn right. It's me. Let's go. Zach says, I got $100 as Steelers sweep the Browns. Bro, don't do that. Don't be doing that because the Browns are the second best team in the AFC. They might go to the Super Bowl this year, as crazy as it sounds. All right, you got a good coach in Stefanski. You got a good O-line, right? They don't even need Odell. They don't even need him. You got the best duo at running back and Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Offensive line's improved. Play calling's improved, right? They don't even need Landry or Odell or Njoku. They don't need them. Defense got Clowney. Who cares? All right, you brought in some guys from the Rams as well, some defensive additions. On top of Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, the Steelers are not going to sweep the Browns. If anything, it's going to be a split, or you might actually get swept. So do not make that bet with anybody, Zach, especially me, because I do not want to take your money. And I'm saying that because I'm looking out for you. Nola's in the building. Calvin's in the building. What it do? Bad, ouch my knee, or Bud, ouch my knee, Dupree. Oh, why you got to be hating like that? What up, man? Keep pounding. Panthers Nation in the building. JC Horn, one of my favorite players. Can't wait to see him play. Matthew Sanchez, Panthers in the building. You're going to get Panthers. You're going to get Saints. You're going to get Eagles. You're going to get a little bit of everything. What to do? But I want to go over this list because obviously I like to answer everyone's questions. Shout out to everyone that donated. Shout out to everyone that watched my stream earlier today too, when I watched the Minnesota Vikings versus the Washington Redskins. Don't cancel me. 1986, November 2nd, Player's Choice, Cam Jordan for his dad, Steve Jordan, who was a wide receiver on the Vikings. Did that live stream for about an hour for the first half. It was fun. Got to see Art Monk, Gary Clark. It was exciting. I absolutely love it. Got a little Dexter Manley out there as well. Shout out to Birdman, 9515, $5. Shout out to Sarah Small, $5. Shout out to Zach, $5. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys very, very much. So let's get into this list. Using the StreamYard, I absolutely love it. So let's get into this. So I'm going to go over some of the names in this PFF article, and we'll go over what we think after. All right, so these are some of the names that they have. At number 25, so it's a top 25 list, okay? It's a top 25 list, all right? Yeah, I'm going to go, well, it's kind of got them all in random. So, and I'll bring that up. So you're going by position. PFF put this out, and I thought it was really interesting. So it goes kind of all in random. So we're going to go based off how they have it, and then we'll go over what we think. At number 25, they got guard Chris Lindstrom from the Atlanta Falcons. His rookie season was solid enough, but year 2 saw a major improvement from the former first-round pick in Atlanta. All right, he elevated his PFF grades to north of 70 in all areas of the game, allowing 29 total pressures across 724 pass blocking snaps. Lindstrom always had legitimate talent, and offensive linemen often show their best play year 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 2021 could be his year. And I'll be honest with him, not really too sure that if I would put him in my top 25 list. Obviously, I love offensive linemen and I love defense. The Atlanta Falcons got a lot to look forward to. There's no more Todd Gurley. Matt Ryan's getting old. You got Calvin Ridley, but he's banged up. We already know Kyle Pitts is going to be off the chain. All right, but I don't really know how great Chris Lindstrom's going to be. I just hope that he doesn't actually get injured. But he does have some talent. I remember him, from the last couple years. I like to focus on the offensive lineman a little bit more than anyone on YouTube or social media. But like I said, I'm not sure if he's going to make enough plays to really stand out. And I'm going to kind of break down every player here so we can kind of get a little knowledge so that you're familiar. If you're not familiar with who the fuck Chris Lindstrom is, guess what? 99% of the people out there don't even fucking know who Chris Lindstrom is. Oh, special hello, Amber M. Nolan says, hello, Ryan and chat. Hope y'all day is good. How do you like the new format with StreamYard, Amber? You like it? We got the little ticker down below. I can highlight the chat up above. Shout out to you. You got your driver's license. I love you. I appreciate you. Saints in the building. What to do? Number 24, a player that I'm more familiar with, that I think that if he can get off the injury bug, he will deserve to be in this top 25 list. Tackle Isaiah Wynn from the New England Patriots. When he got drafted, a lot of expectation. All right. If you don't hear the offensive lineman's name much, he's probably doing a very good job. Wynn quietly goes about his business for the New England Patriots. Rarely gets a mention ever. He allowed just 16 total pressures across 10 starts last season. Okay. His run blocking grade was more than 20 points better than his rookie year, which is huge. All right. Wynn's biggest issue in the NFL has been what? Can anyone tell me? Injuries. All right. His biggest issue is injuries. But outside of that, he's been stellar on the offensive line. And we know with New England what they love to do. What does New England love to do? They love to get rid of players a year or two early. All right. Before they have to pay them. So it's like Chandler Jones, fuck you, get out of here, right? Even though he's still one of the top guys, but they will easily get rid of someone early on. Joe Thuney, see ya. All right. But that's definitely going to help Kansas City. But Isaiah Wynn, I like him. Eric McCoy's on the list. Come on, man. Eric McCoy's a stud. We'll get into that once we get in there. And Eric McCoy is better than those two. Come on, man. Don't question my intelligence or what I know or what I don't know. Of course we know Eric McCoy is better. Come on now. Number 23, Jeffrey Simmons from the Tennessee Titans. Not a big popular name. Not a lot of people know who this is. And this is very important here. So let's showcase that. Calvin showing some love. Amber in the building. All right. And then Calvin with his bias. Eric McCoy better than both, of course. And then Brute Satan has his opinion. Offensive linemen matter. Absolutely. Simmons is yet to reach the point, and we're not talking Isaiah Simmons. All right. We're talking Jeffrey Simmons. Simmons is yet to reach the point where he dominates consistently every fucking week. But the glimpses of what he can do each game are intoxicating. The former Mississippi State star recorded 44 total pressures last season to pair with 27 defensive stops. Not to mention 2 single-game PFF grades above 90. More of that dominance in year 3 could put him in the conversation of the league's best interior defender, not named Aaron Donald. So we're talking about D-line, not offensive line, D-line. And if the Titans, him paired up with Bud Dupree, make a deep playoff run, we might be talking about Jeffrey Simmons as well as Bud, ouch my knee, Dupree, as obviously Calvin Griffin, the hater, would say. Not a big fan of Bud Dupree, it sounds like, as a Saints fan. I like what Bud Dupree offered. And obviously we saw the Steelers collapse after Bud Dupree went down. So we'll see. We will see. Jeffrey Simmons, Bud Dupree, Titans, we will see. Look who it is in the building. Bang! Message from a Golden Eagle. What up, Orion in the NWSF? You were in the stream earlier. What to do? We're going over the top 25 players that are going to be under 25 by the time we go into kickoff in 2021. You just hopped in the room. I don't know if you saw. So 25 was guard Chris Lindstrom, Atlanta Falcons. Number 24, tackle Isaiah Wynn from the New England Patriots. He has injuries through and through, but he's really working his way up on the offensive lineman rankings in my book. All right. Defensive lineman Jeffrey Simmons, Tennessee Titans. If they're going to pair him as a Aaron Donald 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, that's a lot of praise. We'll see what happens. Number 23, Jeffrey Simmons, Tennessee Titans D lineman. Number 22, we thought Tristan Wirfs would be good. This guy was supposed to be better, all right? But he has injuries on his bucket list as well. We're talking about tackle that's going to protect Zach Wilson, Mekhi Becton. Becton's first season might have been something spectacular. No, it wasn't. He's been bothered by injuries all season long. A player that some question as a draft prospect. Becton looked perfectly at home playing at high level in the NFL, giving up a total of 15 total pressures across 412 pass blocking snaps. With a fully healthy season and a better quarterback, not Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson, Becton could be in line for a big year. They had Andrew Thomas from the Giants go ahead of him. All right. Then you had Mekhi Becton. Tristan Wirfs ended up sitting there for a while. Wirfs ended up being the best offensive lineman in the draft last season. Okay. But Mekhi Becton has got a lot of skills. And they got Elijah Vera Tucker. All right. Love him. So now you got Becton, and they took a risk, right? Elijah Vera Tucker. They went for the risk from the USC prospect to guard, the best guard in the draft. I'm very excited to see what Mekhi Becton's going to do with Zach Wilson and Elijah Vera Tucker in the draft this season. Number 22, Mekhi Becton. This is low. And we just have Sarah Small in here, hopping in as a Colts fan, right? Big wrestling fan as well. Bud Dupree is way overpaid. You know what's really underappreciated? This list from PFF. At number 21, they have running back Jonathan Taylor. Are you fucking kidding me? 21? You think Jonathan Taylor is 21? Jonathan Taylor already is a top 10 running back in this league. He might be top 8. He might be top 8. You got Josh Jacobs. You got Jonathan Taylor. You're going to have Najee Harris. I'm scratching my head right here. I say 21 is Jonathan Taylor. He's much higher on this list. Overall, out of running backs, he's a top 10 running back, let alone being under 25. Ridiculous. Once Jonathan Taylor got going for the Colts last season, it became obvious that he has the same ability at the NFL level as he did in college. What a great college career at Wisconsin. Taylor averaged almost 3 yards after contact per carry, broke off 35 runs of 10 yards or more, slipping past 41 tackles along the way. As he continues to run behind one of the league's best offensive lines, behind Quentin Nelson, look for him to be a force moving forward in the season. Jonathan Taylor, this list has no credibility already right now, and that's why I wanted to go over it with you. All right, Jonathan Taylor should be your number one go-to in fantasy. I mean, he's going to be great. Sarah Small said he's better than that. Of course he is. Of course he is. So I had to single that out because, come on, PFF. You got to be better than that. Number 20, guard Michael Onwenu. All right, from the New England Patriots. Now, this is another one that I really love because I think with this player, paired up, obviously with Isaiah Wynn, this is going to be a good offensive line for the New England Patriots. I'm not sold on Mac Jones. I'm not sold on Cam Newton. All right, but Michael Onwenu, offensive lineman, didn't go largely unnoticed most of the time. Onwenu could have a very legitimate case of Rookie of the Year in 2020. He could have, playing multiple positions on the New England Patriot offensive line. He was a 6th-rounder. All right. Allowed just 14 total pressures all season and will be moving full-time to guard for 2021, which he earned his best single game PFF grade. All right. Yeah. Sometimes PFF is good. but sometimes PFF is questionably garbage at times, but it's always good conversation to go over it. Michael Onwenu, New England Patriots at number 20. Number 19, another guy that battled injuries, and a lot of these guys battle injuries except for really Jonathan Taylor. Number 19, defensive lineman Quinnen Williams, New York Jets. It took Williams some time in college to put together the kind of spectacular season that made him such a coveted draft prospect. And his NFL career looks to be following a similar trajectory. His PFF grading improved significantly in 2020, and he came away with more than 20 pressures and defensive stops than he did as a rookie. Williams will be a dominant force if he can take a step going into year 3. Quinnen Williams, I'm very excited to see what he can do moving forward. So we're getting about a fifth of the way through the list. Jonathan Taylor should be the number 1 go-to. I hear you. And we got Calvin Griffin with his opinion. Mac Jones is ass juice. Ass juice. Well, I'm not really a big believer in Cam or Mac, but you end up having some good weapons there at tight end. Hunter Henry from the Chargers, Jonnu Smith from the Titans, Nelson Aguilar from the Raiders. So we'll see where it goes. Number 19, Quinnen Williams. Now we know the list is complete garbage. At number 18, they have running back Josh Jacobs from the Raiders. So you have Jonathan Taylor at 21, Josh Jacobs at 18. Those are 2 of the top 8 running backs in the league. And you think that they're 18 and 21, under 25 list? This is insane. Jacobs has been 1 first-round draft pick of the Curtin Raiders regime that actually panned out. The 23-year-old back now has 120 broken tackles across 515 carries and has averaged 3.1 yards after contact in the NFL. Can't believe that they got Josh Jacobs in there. I wanted him in the draft a couple years ago. I wanted to end up getting Jonathan Taylor. The Bucs didn't get either one of them. Underappreciated. Josh Jacobs at 18, unbelievable. Jonathan Taylor at 21. What kind of list is this? That's why I had to go over it with you. I love both of those running backs. I know, seriously. This is not overall out of all the running backs in the league. These are players under 25. And there's a lot of great talent that's under 25, but you got to be fucking shitting me, though. You got to be fucking shitting me. And this one even makes me laugh even more. At number 17, from Eugene, Oregon, my boy, who I think is going to go to the playoffs this season if we can get Derwin James healthy, Keenan Allen, right? If we can keep the roster healthy with Austin Eckler, and a new O coordinator, a new guy calling plays. We're talking about my boy that I think is a top 10 quarterback right now who could be in the conversation for top 5 with Lamar, with Kyler, with Josh Allen. We're talking about my boy Justin Herbert from the Los Angeles Chargers. Come on, PFF. Herbert won Offensive Rookie of the Year. 31 touchdowns, 10 picks, and you got him at 17. Get the fuck out of here. Herbert finished the year as a top-graded quarterback in the league under pressure, even better than Mahomes, which is crazy. That's spectacular for a rookie passer who wasn't even supposed to start until much later than he did with Tyrod Taylor. The only question is how sustainable it is and whether he can improve in other areas to offset the coming regression. Get the fuck out of here. Herbert is a big play threat waiting to happen with extremely impressive arm and vastly improved supporting cast going into year 2. I don't understand what is going on here, but Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, and Justin Herbert might be 3 of the top 20 players in the league overall. What is this list? I am just baffled right now, and that's why I had to go over it with you. Number 17, Justin Herbert. This makes me laugh. Number 16, we got the Chicago Bears linebacker that had so much talent from Georgia but hasn't put it together, Roquan Smith. Now, if they make the playoffs with Justin Fields, I know he's going to be able to do some big things, but Roquan Smith is not better than Jonathan Taylor, is not better than Justin Herbert, and is not better than Josh Jacobs. I'm sorry. He's a pretty good player, but he ain't better than those 3. So we finally saw what Smith could do at the NFL level in 2020 as he realized his special coverage skills that jumped off the tape at the University of Georgia. He earned a PFF coverage grade of 84, which was good, and allowed a passer rating of just 75.8 on throws into his coverage. The second best mark in football for a linebacker. That's why they have him at 16. All right. But if he can just take that next step in the run game, he can jump up further in the list. I get you. He got you in coverage, but it's not like he's going to lead the team like Khalil Mack to the playoffs alone. It's a team effort. It'll be up to Justin Fields. Roquan Smith at number 16 for the Chicago Bears. God, this list keeps getting better and better and better. Just so comical. At number 15, Kyler Murray. A lot rests on the season for Murray and the rest of the Cardinals. The 2018 Heisman Trophy winner didn't take the step forward many would have expected in 2020, at least as a passer. Instead, he became a much bigger rushing threat, scoring 11 rushing touchdowns, breaking 17 tackles, and putting almost 400 yards, both as a design rusher and on scrambles. Now he needs to jump from 17th ranked PFF grade, passing grade he recorded in 2020. Kyler Murray, they're going to make the playoffs this season. I'm very confident of that. But to say that he is the 15th best player that's under 25, come on, PFF. Come on, PFF. I mean, Kyler's got a lot of potential, and some people are going to put Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, and Josh Allen and Lamar all in that same category, all battling it out for top 5, top 6, 7, 8 in the league. You know what I mean? But I think Herbert, obviously I've seen Herbert front row in Eugene. I've seen all the mechanics. I never saw Kyler play front row or anything like that, but I think with the supporting cast, getting J.J. Watt, and getting A.J. Green might be able to have a revitalization in his career. But 15, Kyler Murray, come on. Come on, my guys. Come on, PFF. Number 14, Carolina Panthers stud wide receiver, DJ Moore, who I actually love. I think this is one of the more underrated wide receivers in the league with Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, and Tyler get to the door and lock it. Number 14, DJ Moore. He doesn't get the same acclaim as the other receivers in the league. Moore is just a consistently excellent receiver. He has been incredibly consistent in almost all the numbers over the past 2 years, but 2020 saw him blossom into a big play threat, averaging 18.1 yards per reception on an average depth target of 13.7 yards, 2 full yards higher than the year before. DJ Moore, I absolutely love him, but that's why I wanted to go over this list. All right, so that way you guys get my opinion. All right, here we go. Number 13, a wide receiver that I like. Number 13 is a wide receiver that I like. All right, talking about the Dallas Cowboys and C.D. Lamb. I think that Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, and C.D. Lamb are the future of the league, as well as Jamar Chase. These are going to be the guys that we're going to look in the film room and we're going to see on film really take off. So as Julio gets older, DeAndre Hopkins gets older, these 4 guys are going to be coveted for the top 10 in the league, and they're going to be pushing for top 5 status. A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson, right? C.D. Lamb is a little bit behind because he didn't have Dak, but I truly feel that he would have got over 1,400 yards and broke Justin Jefferson's record of 1,400 yards last season. If Dak would have played with C.D. Lamb the whole year, C.D. would have gotten over 1,400 yards, in my opinion. I think he would have. All right? And then on top of that, you got Jamar Chase with Burrow. It's going to be very interesting to see. But C.D. Lamb had the most athleticism out of any wide receiver besides Jamar Chase in the last few years. Your Dallas offense is stacked. Lamb spent most of his rookie year 93.2% in the slot. And he doesn't even have to be in the slot. He could be on the outside. He's better than Michael Gallup. Amari Cooper is known as the better wide receiver, an undercover top 12 wide receiver in this league. Some people think Amari Cooper's top 10. He's not flashy. We saw him at Bama. We saw him on the Raiders, right? He's kind of just a boring wide receiver to watch. Can we agree to that? When you watch Amari Cooper, he's a great route runner, right? But nothing really, spits off the page where you're like, oh my God, Amari Cooper, I got to watch him. You know what I mean? He just consistently kind of gets it done. But there's nothing really flashy about his game, but he can run good routes and he's got good hands. Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup man the outside spots, CD in the slot. Despite that the passing game fell off after Dak went down, Lamb generated a passer rating of 102.0 when targeted, making several spectacular plays in the process. Look for him to take a big jump in his game. I really love CD Lamb a lot. Watched him in college. I think that he is going to be the real deal, Holyfield. Not that he should be on the list, but isn't it crazy that Juju is only 24? Yeah, Juju's got a lot of talent, but what you need to realize is he needs to get off the TikTok. He really needs to get off there because with Juju, if you're more focused about social media, I mean, he could have went to the Ravens, and been a guy there. Steelers fans, some love him, some hate him. Chase Claypool seems like he might be the future. You got Deontay Johnson, but Juju usually is pretty consistent. Ben is getting older. No more James the Terminator Kana. All right, you now got Najee Harris, but Juju's got skills, but I need him to be focused. He kind of reminds me of like Randy Moss. I'll play when I want to. Can't be like that. You can't be like that. You feel me? Everybody in the league, Amari outside of Dallas. I hear you. Wow, Zach, that means he was drafted when he was 20. Juju is a glorified, let me hear it, Third option, second at best receiver. He ain't a number one. Yeah, well, obviously when you had Antonio Brown, you know what I mean? When you have to Juju, I mean, he can't really do a number one role. His number 2 option, 3 option is more suited for him. You know what I mean? You could have maybe, because even Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool aren't number one receivers either. You know, he's just not. But I'm really excited to see what happens moving forward. He said, yeah, he does his job. I just mean how crazy and how long he's been in the league. I hear you. Number 13, C.D. Lamb. Number 12 is one of the maybe underrated corners in the league. We're talking about cornerback who gets injured a lot, but I think he's going to have an amazing season this year for the Cleveland Browns. We're talking about Denzel Ward. Sometimes he plays good. Sometimes he gets burnt, like burnt toast, right? Like Lattimore on the Saints. But going into this season with all the extra depth that you're getting, some players from the Rams coming over, all right? Getting Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah to come from Notre Dame. I'm not really big on your boy Clowney, but he's there with Myles Garrett. Number 12, cornerback Denzel Ward. The Cleveland secondary needed a lot of help last season. That's an understatement. One player that was holding up his end of the bargain was Denzel Ward, who became one of the hardest players in the league to beat. He doesn't get beat often. Ward has broken up 19 passes over the past 2 seasons, hasn't been beaten. Let me say this again. Has not been beaten for a pass longer than 31 yards in 2 of his 3 years in the NFL. That's huge. And they're going to need that going against Lamar, Big Ben, and Joe Burrow, because you know Joe Burrow will be going deep, but Denzel Ward, pretty damn good player. But you know who is a better player than Denzel Ward? And I've been saying this is the most underrated, probably defensive player in the league. Now he says, dude, he is the second most consistent player, third down in the league. You're a Steelers fan through and through. I mean, I always like to hear the opinions of players of the team that you root for. So keep spitting it out, Zach. I appreciate you, and I love you. Brute Saint, Brown's got a lot of great young players. They do. But you know who's better than Ward, in my opinion? As I burp and get all that Gatorade or whatever that was out of my system. Number 12 was cornerback Denzel Ward. Number 11, the most underrated, underappreciated, no-name player in the NFL. Safety, Cincinnati Bengals, Jesse Bates III. Go watch the tape. Very, very young and promising player. I would take him on Tampa Bay in a heartbeat. Bates was the highest graded safety in the league in 2020. Believe it or not. Posting an overall grade of 90.1, coverage grade of 90. Bengals defense is shit. All right? They had Carlos Dunlap, and you've had a few players here and there, but that's pretty surprising. You don't hear about him at all. Nobody could match the frequency of plays Bates made on the football, many of which came from a deep-lying, middle-of-the-field alignment. He tallied a combined 15 interceptions and pass breakups, and even that number sold him short as he was questionably flagged for a penalty on what would have been another. Remember that name. The most underrated, no-name player in the league, and he plays safety, one of my favorite positions in the league, linebacker, corner, safety, D-end, right? D-tackle, D-end, pass rusher, offensive line. Remember the name, Jesse Bates III, Cincinnati Bengals. And I think I would put him higher on this list, but they got him at 11. It's actually one that I kind of agree with. He is one of the best players in the league, and no one knows who he is. But, you know, your boy does a lot of research and a lot of film study. That'll be someone to keep an eye on when you watch Bengals games with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. When they're on defense and they're getting waxed, look at the safety. And let's see what Jesse Bates does. I'm hoping he makes a Pro Bowl and gets a little bit more love. I love safeties in this league. I'm a big John Lynch guy, a big Brian Dawkins guy, Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed, Ronnie Lott, Steve Atwater. I can go on and on and on. I love, love, love safety. Jesse Bates III. Number 11, Cincinnati Bengals. Number 10 should be higher on this list. But, you know, it is what it is. We're talking about Seattle Seahawks future legend with or without Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf. Most NFL defenders just can't live with the combination of size, strength, and speed that Metcalf can bring to the table. He looks like an American gladiator. And the true potency of that combination was laid bare when he torched Stephon Gilmore for a deep touchdown early in 2020. Stephon Gilmore is considered the best corner not named Jalen Ramsey in most people's eyes. Metcalf is still developing his skill set. He can't run all the routes just yet, but what he is already elite at is terrifying defenses on the league over. Ed Reed, yeah, he is one of my favorites of all time. I like Troy Polamalu a little bit more, but Ed Reed, I mean, I always follow the U, and I always follow those players. Ed Reed always has a special place in my heart. Sean Taylor, I mean, there's a lot of guys. I mean, you know, I've been watching football since 1985, but Ed Reed right? With Troy Polamalu, I mean, you got Brian Dawkins, John Lynch, and a lot of these other guys that were out there too. But Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu, very, very special. But who also is special? It's DK Metcalf. That's big facts. So I'm curious if Wilson makes him look good or Metcalf is that good or both. Well, if you watched him in college, he went to Ole Miss, right? Ole Miss produced A.J. Brown as well and Elijah Moore, where we're going to see on the Jets. So we know Ole Miss can produce receivers. He's big, right? He's physical. But the knock on him is he couldn't run all the routes. Yeah, he could run a go route, but what about a post route? What about a hitch route? What about an out route, an in route, a slant route? But he proved that once he gets the football in his hands, his yak yards were a little bit better than we thought. And I think that DK obviously is benefiting from a top 3 quarterback in this league. Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. But if Wilson leaves Seattle and you get another quarterback in there who has any kind of game, I like Tyler Lockett as more as the consistent, receiver. Tyler Lockett hasn't dropped a pass in the red zone from Russell in his career. Insane. DK Metcalf, though, is one of those guys that should be considered a top 12 wide receiver in the league. And I think that he could still be a top wide receiver in the league, even if he had another quarterback. You put him with Baker Mayfield, of course, he's not going to get as much yards or touchdowns, but he's still going to be able to be a significant impact on the roster. What he needs to work on is his drops and his route running, in my opinion, but I still love him. We're talking about DK Metcalf. Good comment, Brute Saint. Calvin Griffin says, Julio, the prototype, Metcalf, the scientific experiment gone wrong. Hey. Well, Metcalf, like I said, Julio, you're a Bama guy, so you're biased too. You're biased anything Alabama, anything Saints. Come on, man. We already know where your mind is at. Metcalf can get better. I don't know if Metcalf will ever be a top 5 wide receiver in this league. I think I like A.J. Brown and Justin Jefferson more, maybe even Jamar Chase more. But Metcalf is a freak of nature. That's fair. Comic Thrash, best play of 2020, DK stopping Buda Baker. Facts. That definitely was very exciting, to be able to see him run down, just like Julio typically likes to run down other players after there's an interception. Yeah, good yak, needs to improve route running pretty much. And then the drops. A lot of drops in the first couple of years. He needs to get better than that. He can learn from Tyler, get to the door, and lock it. Okay? Number 9. Who's very underrated, the best rookie offensive lineman in the draft that helped me win the fucking Super Bowl. And I know a lot of people are going to maybe, gaff and snicker and laugh and poke fun. Number 9, tackle Tristan Wirfs. This is a hot take. Might be one of the best tackles already in the NFL. I know he's on my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I watched him at Iowa as a Hawkeye. They know how to pick up offensive linemen. We saw Robert Gallery. He never panned out. But Tristan Wirfs was just as instrumental of winning the Super Bowl and making the deep run as Antoine Winfield Jr. on the back end at safety, right? This guy was the man on the line, and I think that he might end up being in the running for one of the top 3 tackles overall in the league. We know the Saints have an amazing O-line led by Ryan Ramczyk. We know the Colts got a great line by Quentin Nelson. But Tristan Wirfs at the tackle position, just like Devin White at linebacker, you'll be woke very, very soon. Tristan Wirfs at number 9. Rookie offensive linemen typically struggle in year 1, but Wirfs was thrown into the Wolves and did nothing but thrive. Yeah, we remember the highlight getting thrown by Khalil Mack in that Bears loss where Tom Brady forgot what down it was. But besides that, the Iowa product only allowed 24 total pressures across 20 games on his way to a Super Bowl, despite running up against some elite competition. In no game did he surrender more than 4 total pressures, and he had 6 perfect games of pass protection. No other rookie did that. Let me say that again. 6 perfect games of pass protection. Andrew Thomas from the Giants didn't do that, right? Mekhi Becton didn't do that for the Jets. A lot of these other guys that were supposed to be better than Tristan Wirfs, thank God he fell to me. And if he wouldn't have fell, I don't know if I would have been able to make that deep run. Number 9, Tristan Wirfs. Fucking beast. Brute Saint. Wirfs? Question mark? You know it, my guy. So like I said, Metcalf, a scientific experiment gone wrong. Somebody put linebacker formula in the Urkel chamber when they made him. Brute Saint, my guy. All right. We're going to have to get you on the live stream, Brute Saint. Like I said, we got, Juan Gotti, who's a Redskin, a.k.a. Washington football team fan. There's a few Eagles fans that want to get on there too. But you should shoot me an email. I don't know if you have StreamYard on your computer, but if you want to be able to hop on with me, because you definitely are one of those people. Calvin Griffin, you're another one. But I want to be able to have someone that's going to hop on the stream with me. All right. I want to have someone hop on the live stream with me who actually is a loyal fan of the channel that knows their shit. Ramchek is the dude, of course. Well, Ramchek is one of the best in the NFL, but I'm just talking about young up and coming. Tristan Wirfs played a lot better, I think, than people anticipated. And I love your guys' offensive line. I feel we have a top 10 offensive line in the league. The Saints have like a top 3. I'm not stupid. All right. I know talent when I see it. I do like your guys' offensive line. The only piece that I was kind of questionable on was Andrews Pete from Stanford. All right. But other than that, most of the pieces are pretty fucking solid. Number 9, Tristan Wirfs. And I know you can respect me for that. You know, I know my football. Number 8, this is laughing. This is comical. This is the best up-and-coming wide receiver not named A.J. Brown. If you heard the show earlier, who do I like? I like Justin Herbert. I like A.J. Brown. And who's the other wide receiver that I really love moving forward that's not Jamar Chase or A.J. Brown? It's the Minnesota Vikings stud that is just on the Adam Thielen level, possibly better, hitting the gritty. Number 8, Justin Jefferson from LSU. I know Eagles fans are just killing themselves, as well as the Saints fans. You could have had Justin Jefferson, Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, Jared Cook, Justin Jefferson. What could have been? Michael Thomas, Justin Jefferson. What could have been? Hurts me to say that. Anytime you're breaking rookie records held by Randy fucking Moss, you're doing something pretty well. Jefferson wasn't just the best graded rookie receiver in the NFL last season. His 90.5 rating receiving grade was better than any other wideout than who? Devontae Adams. And he crushed it last season. He generated 2.66 yards per route run, again, second only to Adams. Think about that. He was a rookie, and he was second to only Devontae Adams, who almost scored 20 fucking touchdowns receiving last season. I told you this already. When Julio gets out of the top 5 and DeAndre Hopkins slides out of the top 5, whether that be retirement or he gets a little bit older, the two guys that are going to take those spots and move up, all right, on the list with Devontae Adams and a few others, Justin Jefferson's one, A.J. Brown is the other. And we'll see what Jamar Chase does. I'm hoping that we can talk about Jamar Chase as being a top 10 wide receiver after this season as well. Wirfs is the top dog. That's big facts. People hate Pete, and he still ranks higher than the majority of guards in the NFL. It's true. But I'm just saying, based on all the other players on the line, there's been some mistakes on the line that he's made. They gave him the extension. I know some Saints fans love him. Some Saints fans, hate him. But I just think that based off the standard that you guys have held on the offensive line being top 3 in the league, you would just want him to be a little bit more consistent. I think that's fair to say. All right. Number 8, Justin Jefferson. That's hilarious. Number 8, are you kidding me? This guy might be one of the best players in the NFL already going into his second year. Comical. This one's even more comical for you, and you guys will just take a shit right now, right here on StreamYard. I'll just take a big old fat shit because this is just insane. Number 7, who might be Defensive Player of the Year, probably going to be on a Madden cover in a year or two. Edge rusher on the best D-line in football, not named the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 1 pick, Chase Young. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Number 7, edge rusher, Chase Young. He was the best edge rusher in PFF college football history. College pass rush grades have proved to be extremely reliable when it comes to predicting success at the next level. Young is a beast. He backed up his college performance with an impressive rookie year from The Ohio State University with a little brief injury slowing him down. Top 10 graded edge rusher in year 1. He could be a superstar in year 2. No, he already is a fucking superstar. Dummies, Chase Young is a beast. I would take him on my team in a heartbeat. I can't wait to see what he does. And he's going to be in the Defensive Player of the Year running. Aaron Donald, Chase Young, I could definitely see that competition going back and forth. I just want to be able to see the Washington football team make the playoffs. I don't know how deep of a run they're going to go with Ryan Fitzmagic or Heineke from Heineke, but what I do know is the defense is solid, especially the D-line. Number 7, Chase Young. This is comical. Very, very comical. 8, Justin Jefferson. 7, Chase Young. Get the fuck out of here. Man, unbelievable. So you misinformed. All Saints fans hate Pete. Not all, some. The ones that have told me, all right? And Nola, I saw your comment earlier, all right? I saw your comment earlier, and I'll show it here. So I love my boy Ryan. No homo. That's my dog. Always keeping it real with me. You know I do. I got to put you in line. because I believe in you. Anyone that's got a dream, anyone that hustles, anyone that has a grind, trying to be a YouTuber or be an influencer, a rapper, whatever it is, I'm going to support you to the end. If you're being an idiot, I'm going to let you know. I want you to succeed. I want you to get signed. And more than likely, you're going to be there with me when we get to the top. All right. And that's big facts. Number 7, Chase Young. Appreciate you, my guy. 99.99999% of Saints fans hate Pete. I'm not sure if it's that high, but I know a lot of them don't like him. All right. Number 6, one of the best safeties in the league for the Pittsburgh Steelers, a guy that can get touchdowns left and right. We're talking about Minkah Fitzpatrick. Since moving to Pittsburgh and playing a more defined role, not to mention playing with a better defense, Fitzpatrick has been one of the best safeties in the NFL. That's an understatement. 9 interceptions, 11 pass breakups over the last 2 seasons, as well as 3 single-game PFF grades above 90, which is nuts. Fitzpatrick is a playmaker within the Steelers' defense with the kind of versatility to make impact plays in all areas. Bud, ouch my knee, Dupree, as Calvin Griffin would say, is no longer there. So now it's going to be TJ Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick, but you need more. But I absolutely love Minkah Fitzpatrick. A lot of Alabama players. Number 6, Minkah Fitzpatrick. Number 5, arguably a top 3 corner, but it shouldn't be argued. Yes, there's Stephon Gilmore, right? Yes, we know that from the where? The New England Patriots. Jalen Ramsey. We know this. Los Angeles Rams. You know the guy that doesn't get the love? Who should? Cornerback for the Packers, Jair Alexander. Stud. Alexander was a shutdown force at corner in the Packers in 2020, earning a PFF coverage grade of 91.1 for the season, allowing just 353 yards across 17 games. Let me say that again. He only allowed 353 yards across 17 games. So if you thought it was just Aaron Rodgers in the Packers offense and Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones, Aaron Jones, you are slightly mistaken. 353 yards across 17 games, including the playoffs. Fucking insane. Now the 24-year-old allowed 20 or fewer receiving yards in 11 games last year and wasn't beaten for more than 66 yards from a wide receiver all season. I absolutely love Jair Alexander. I would take him on my team in a heartbeat. Great fucking player. Great potential, and he's going to get better and better and better, especially when you're getting guys like Stephon Gilmore, who's getting a little bit older, holding at. So we'll see if these guys can get better, healthier, and they can improve the Packers defense through and through, because that was kind of their bugaboo. You know what I mean? They had Bulaga, all right? You had some of the nice pieces on the line, Bakhtiari, Bulaga, right? And some of the pieces are no longer there, but the defense was always the liability. So it's starting to get a little bit better. Starting to get a little bit better. So Lattimore's 25. If this was under 26, he'd be up there. Big facts. Number 5, Jair Alexander. Number 4, one of my favorite players, and it's a fucking Bosa. Which one is it, though? Is it Joey? How old is he? Is it Nick? Could it be him? It's the Ohio State University product. It was not Chase Young, because we already heard his name. We're talking about the San Francisco 49ers. Bang, bang, Niner gang. We're talking about edge rusher Nick Bosa. What happens when Nick Bosa and Joey Bosa? They get fucking hurt every goddamn year. But guess what? The San Francisco 49ers are making the playoffs with Trey Lance, Trey Area. And this guy is going to be a big part about it. No more Richard Sherman. They got Fred Warner, who is one of the best players in the NFL, top 3 linebacker in the league with Devin White and Darius Leonard. But at number 4, Nick Bosa. We've only seen 1 year of Nick Bosa in the NFL. Injury robbing us of an encore last season. Still, that 1 year was devastating. He notched 80 total pressures as a rookie. Let me say that again. 80 total pressures as a rookie, as an edge rusher. That's fucking insane. Breaking the PFF rookie record over anyone else. He was still cooking. Not Jared cooking. We're not talking about fumbling. We're talking cooking by the Super Bowl II. He notched 12 pressures in a losing effort to try and contain Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. So just think, if you can get a healthy Nick Bosa, this will be the impact of a Von Miller in his prime. I can't wait to see a healthy Nick Bosa. The Niners are making the playoffs this season. You heard it here first. It's a hot take. And guess what? They might end up winning the NFC West. You heard it here first. Everyone's talking about who? They're talking about the Rams and the Ramley and Stafford. Deservedly so. They're talking about Kyler and the Cardinals. taking the jump. They're talking about Seattle and dangerous because it seems like every time we count Russell out, they find a way to get there with Carson, DK Metcalf, and Tyler get to the door and lock it. Jamal Adams obviously gets banged up a lot. Bobby Wagner's getting older. San Francisco 49ers with Kyle Shanahan, watch out, when Trey Area gets in, it doesn't have to be Jimmy G. I think the 49ers have an excellent chance to win the division because a lot of times you go from teams that go from last to first, worst to first, or third to first. And this is one like the Giants that I could see kind of making a big jump in 2021, just like the Dolphins and Chargers in the AFC. Edge rusher, number 4, Nick Bosa. Nick over Chase Young. Interesting, right? And Chase Young might be the most impactful defensive player not named Aaron Donald. So they really love Nick Bosa. Maybe they love him because they know he's going to playoffs this season, like I do. Interesting. Number 3. I told you I like Justin Herbert. I told you I like Justin Jefferson. I told you who I thought was better than Julio. Guess who it is? Number 3, A.J. Brown. Ryan Tannehill is my favorite non-superstar quarterback in this league. I love A.J. Brown. He gets a touchdown almost every fucking game. If you have him in fantasy football, he's a fucking stud. Few receivers have the physical ability to dominate the way A.J. Brown does. He may even be more dangerous this season that Julio is on the other side. No more Corey Davis. Brown is the 3rd highest graded receiver in the league in 2020. We know Devontae Adams was up there. We know Justin Jefferson was up there. Brown is a stud. He has generated a passer rating of 130.1 since entering the league as a second-round pick in 2019. One of the best second-round picks of all time. If we're talking about second-round picks that really not underachieve, but overachieve, just like AK-41 Alvin Kamara, when you're a 3rd or 4th rounder and you're the top 2 running back in this league, in my opinion, Derrick Henry, AK-41. Yeah, I know Saquon. Yeah, I know Run CMC, Dalvin Cook, Josh Jacobs, Najee Harris, Jonathan Taylor. I know it. All right? But what I do know, A.J. Brown is going to get better and better and better, and I'll take him over Julio any day. This guy's young. He's physical. He can do everything that you want him to do, and he's a fucking gamer. And if you need to go into overtime or in the 4th quarter with a clutch catch, I think I might take A.J. Brown almost over anyone in the league. Devontae Adams is great. DeAndre Hopkins is great. Julio is great. Michael Thomas, when he's healthy, he's great. But A.J. Brown, for a guy that's not a superstar just yet, just like Justin Jefferson, I have a lot of confidence in this kid. I absolutely love A.J. Brown. Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown. Who else? Justin Herbert, Devin White, and my new one, possibly J.C. Horn. Love him. Hopefully he doesn't end up being like Okuda. We can't have that. We want to make sure our corners pan out. Number 3, A.J. Brown. Number 2, who you could argue number 1, but we need to see him sit in the pocket with Rashad Bateman. Okay? Hollywood Brown is a bust. Mark Andrews, top 5 tight end in the league. But if you want to get back to MVP form, you need to have someone better than J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Mark Ingram, he was a guy a couple years ago. J.K. Dobbins is going to break out this year, but those are still 2 third-down backs. Change of pace backs. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards. You need a Josh Jacobs. You need a Najee Harris. You need a Jonathan Taylor. Until that happens, I don't see the Ravens making an AFC championship game. They will make the playoffs. I love Lamar. Him and Josh Allen are getting paid. They're going to get this big, big fucking money. Lamar Jackson's mom is his agent. They're going to be wheeling and dealing for money. Josh Allen hopes Lamar gets a deal first, so his deal is more. A year removed from his MVP season, Lamar Action Jackson New Wave is a fantastic example of how quarterback development isn't always just the neat curve in the right direction. Jackson was still good in 2020, and he actually recorded a higher big-time throw rate, but he did throughout his MVP campaign. But his touchdown percentage went from 7.7% to 5.7%. And no, Mark Ingram with the same impact. Now his turnover-worthy play rate doubled to 3.6. Hollywood Brown is garbage. Jackson is still a dynamic playmaker who likely splits the difference between those 2 seasons in 2021. I love Lamar Action Jackson. He's got a lot of skills, but maybe getting Rashad Bateman will keep his fucking ass in the pocket. Stop running around with your goddamn head cut off. Be more like Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes. We know you can run. I know you can scramble. But until you get to the point where you can sit in the fucking pocket and make plays, you're going to be able to take your game to the next level, and people will then respect you instead of being the new age Michael Vick. All right? We need to see you stay in the pocket. Absolutely love you. Lamar Jackson at number 2. Who could be number 1? Who could it be? So we know Devin White is great. We know Darius Leonard is great, right? But who is the other linebacker that people don't realize how great he is? I tell you guys day in and day out, because linebacker is my favorite position. Derek Brooks is my favorite player all time. Devin White is my favorite current player with Levante David. This player with Darius Leonard needs to be mentioned, and we're not talking about fucking Bobby Wagner. Who could it be? It's another teammate of who? Nick Bosa. Do you know who it is? At number 1, bang, bang, Niner gang, believe it or not, Fred Warner. He is probably one of the more non-known names in the league, like Jesse Bates III at Cincinnati at safety. Not a lot of people know Fred Warner. But once they end up having more success, they make the playoffs this year with Trey Area, and if they can get that defense to stay healthy, Warner has become arguably the game's best linebacker besides Darius Leonard and Devin White. Bobby Wagner and Luke Kuechly have been that dude for quite some time. But now it's time for 2021. Bobby Wagner, take a step back. Fred Warner, Devin White, Darius Leonard. But at number 1, Fred Warner. A position that has become even more difficult to play given how good NFL offenses have become attacking the defensive weakness. All right. Again, a position that has become ever more difficult to play given how good NFL offenses have become at attacking defensive weaknesses. It's a passing league now. The former 3rd round pick, which I love. Anyone that's a 2nd, 3rd, 4th round pick, I love it. All right. 3rd round pick earned a PFF coverage grade of 91.1, allowing a passer rating of 81.9 into coverage, some 25 points lower than the average at the position. So if we're looking at linebackers and we're looking at studs, moving forward, Fred Warner, not known by a lot of people unless you follow football like I do and Brute Saint and a lot of us do. Darius Leonard, people know him. Devin White won the Super Bowl. We know him. Bobby Wagner and Luke Kuechly have been those dudes forever. Luke Kuechly's in retirement. Bobby Wagner's still doing his thing in Seattle. But Fred Warner is just like Jesse Bates III at safety. Kind of like, who is this guy? But if you watch games, and I'm a big NFC West guy, obviously I live here in Oregon. I see all the Seattle games because they come here locally for me. Niners and Seahawks is still one of the best rivalry games in football. It would have been, Niners, Cowboys, when we had the NFC rivalry with Montana and Troy Aikman. But this Russell Wilson versus whoever the fuck the quarterback is on the Niners, now it's going to be Jimmy G, Pornstar Jimmy, or who? Trey Area. E40 loves me some Trey Area, and I can't wait to see what Trey Lance does. Now, Trey Lance might not be the most talented quarterback between Mac Jones, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, and Trevor Lawrence, but guess what he does have? He's got the best coach out of those 5, and he's got the best supporting cast out of those 5, and he's probably going to be the only team out of those 5 making the playoffs this season, besides maybe Justin Fields and the Bears, if Rodgers goes to another team like Denver, because if he leaves, the Vikings, Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook are going to be battling Justin Fields. All right. So you got, Montgomery, Tariq Cohen, Allen Robinson, Khalil Mack, Roquan Smith. There's some studs there. All right. But if you really had to put your money on one quarterback really doing big things, it's going to be Trey Area and linebacker Fred Warner. Interesting list. So again, I'll go through the list here real quickly just as we go through the names. Some of them are very comical. Number 25, Chris Lindstrom. Who is he? Nobody fucking knows. Guard for the Atlanta Falcons. Number 24, tackle Isaiah Wynn, New England Patriots. Very underrated. Number 23, defensive lineman Jeffrey Simmons. They call him an Aaron Donald 3.0, 4.0, 5.0. We'll see. We'll see. Because if him and Bud Dupree battle it out and do good things, all right, for the Titans, maybe we'll know who Jeffrey Simmons is after this year. Number 22, tackle Mekhi Becton. Number 21, Jonathan Taylor, running back for the Colts. Ridiculous. All right, ridiculous. Number 20, guard Michael Onwenu for the New England Patriots. Stud, very underrated. Number 19, D lineman Quinnen Williams for the Jets. Number 18, Raiders, Josh Jacobs. What? Jonathan Taylor, 21. Josh Jacobs, 18. Are you kidding me? Number 17, Justin Herbert. Are you kidding me? This is already straight garbage. Number 16, Roquan Smith for the Bears. Number 15, Kyler Murray. Number 14, DJ Moore. 13, CeeDee Lamb. 12, Denzel Ward. Number 11, I like this one, Jesse Bates III. Doesn't get the love, but he should. Number 10, DK Metcalf. Number 9, Tristan Wirfs, Super Bowl champion, baby. The best offensive lineman in the draft this past season. Number 8, hit the gritty, Justin Jefferson. Number 7, Chase Young. Are you kidding me? Number 6, Minkah Fitzpatrick. Chase Young's better than Minkah. Minkah's great. All right. But I mean, I guess one's a safety, one's, an edge rusher. Minkah is still one of the best safeties in the league. So I can see why they put him there. But I would have probably put Chase Young at least one spot higher. Come on, PFF. Number 5, Jair Alexander, stud. Number 4, Nick Bosa. Number 3, A.J. Brown. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. And number 1, Fred Warner. So they think Fred Warner and Nick Bosa are 2 of the top 4 young players in this league. And I can agree. I mean, these guys are studs. And I think they are going to make the playoffs. They could win the NFC West, but it's definitely something that I wanted to go over with y'all. What a great show, man. You guys are the best fans on planet Earth. Amber is back in the building. Oh, my boy. Riley Cash in the building. My boy Trevor Lawrence better be on this list. He's not. For whatever reason, PFF, I mean, maybe because he's just a rookie. I know he's under 25 years old, but I don't know. Maybe they excluded Zach Wilson. They excluded the rookies that haven't played just yet. But obviously, we know Trevor Lawrence is going to be in the running, for Rookie of the Year. We know this. Him, Najee Harris on the offense, and Micah Parsons on the defense. Yeah, I don't think the rookies are not rated on here because they don't got Jamar Chase on here either. It's all players that played at least last year, but it sounds like a majority of the list are guys that have played 2 or 3 years, that are under that group, depending on when they came out of college, 18, 19, 20. So you probably played a couple years if you're under 25 before we get into kickoff. But like I said, I appreciate you guys. Like I said, it's been a long day. Your boy's been grinding, worked a full 8-9 hour day, hopped on for the Vikings and Redskins, 1986, November 2nd. Cam Jordan, player's choice, showing his dad, Steve Jordan, wide receiver, number 83 for the Minnesota Vikings. I did the first half live play-by-play and reactions from 1986. I was 4 years old. It was super fun. And then now I'm doing this live stream, obviously going over the best players under 25 years of age through PFF. It's very interesting. Some of the names like Josh Jacobs, Justin Jefferson, Justin Herbert, way too low. And like I said, I'll be back tomorrow for another show. I want to give a big shout out to everyone that, was in the room that showed some love. Obviously, Zach Amig, $5. Sarah Small, $5. Birdman 951, $5. You guys are the best fans on planet Earth. I appreciate you guys very, very much. If there's any last minute questions, anything that you guys want to go over based off rookies or your team, fire away. Other than that, like I said, it's been a great day. Put in a lot of hard work, a lot of energy, a lot of passion. And like I said, on top of me working the full day, doing a 1-hour live stream of that old school game on NFL Network. And now I'm here for another hour and a half doing a live stream going over the best players under 25 years of age. You guys are the best fans on planet Earth. So if there's anyone that has any comments, anything that you want to discuss before I go, type them in the chat as soon as possible. If not, I'm going to go on, obviously, NFL.com. I'm going to go check out NFL Network. I still got a lot of other reading and research to do. So, like I said, today was a great show. I want to give a big shout out to Riley Cash, Amber M, Brute Saint, everyone that's in the building, Young Nola, Calvin Griffin, everyone that participated in the chat, as well as my boy Brute Saint in the building. You're my boy. I appreciate you guys very, very much. I hope you guys had a great day. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And like I said, I'll be back tomorrow, more than likely sometime between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. unless I come back a little bit earlier because your boy always loves to grind, and I'll probably be here for some other original content, and I'll be here for another stream probably on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's about 90 to 106 degrees here in Oregon, so I got no AC in this room. But you know what? I got a little fan on me, but it doesn't matter because the Fanatic family is the best fans on planet Earth. The grind to 20K is real. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Come on now. NWSF Chain Gang in the building. The best fans on planet Earth. You guys, I love you. I appreciate you guys. I'll be back very, very soon. Peace.